Huh? What's this? Did Disney make this one? No, came from China and just blew up the list. Inside Out 2, yeah, you're number 1, out of the way. All right? My demon friend here is now going to be taking your place. Look at the highest grossing animated films of all time. The list is overwhelmingly, if not virtually, all like Western, specifically American big companies like Disney, Paramount, and so on. I think it's good to get some new talent on the scene because like before that in the top, I think 30,哪吒 1 was the only international non-American film on that list. And now there's 2 spots with哪吒 2 being number 1, and that's just insane to me.哪吒originated from a fantasy novel by author Zhu Zhonglin and was released during the Ming Dynasty. Now, the exact dates are kind of murky for when it was like fully published, but the 100 chapters were released sometime between 1567 and 1619. He also makes an appearance,哪吒, in probably the best-known Chinese novel of all time, The Journey to the West, written by Wu Chengyin in 1592. The same novel with the Monkey King. Now,哪吒has been featured in over 20 movies and animated specials, but the best known of these before the 2019 movie was哪吒Conquers the Dragon King, a 60-minute animated movie released in 1979. That was probably the most popular version of the character in pop culture until the CGI feature film came out in 2019. But since哪吒 2 came out and just shook the world to its core, I'm here talking about哪吒 1 right now. The first movie feels a lot more like they were testing the waters of how to best capture the overall style of how a DreamWorks movie is structured narratively. But the aesthetic style, deep diving on folklore, and sense of humor is notably more catered to Chinese family audiences, i.e. lots of slapstick, fart jokes, pee jokes, a Minions movie. So哪吒as a pop culture character feels more like China's version of Stitch, Bugs Bunny, or similar chaotic trickster characters, but specifically based on Chinese folklore. By the way, there's really cool battle scenes with characters pulling off all these epic maneuvers. We got this one archer guy with multiple arms shooting arrows out of the back of his back with multiple, it's like the final smash attack in a video game. It's how I'd explain it. There's a giant baby, old man who's kind of a god. There's multiple dragons. If you like dragons, you're gonna get your fill. All I can really say is that this is a big, massive, epic movie. And lots of Chinese folklore, lots of Chinese gods, dragons, armies, Chinese aesthetic with their soldiers, their buildings. If you want a crash course on just Chinese culture, watch this movie. And I'm not saying exact culture this is historically accurate, but more of the same way you got knights with Europeans. You got the Great Wall surrounding this village with boats and soldiers and cool ballista and arrows. It's just cool. And I would say the story, it almost feels like this film has 4 acts at times. And it's a long film. It's over 2 hours long. And yeah, I gotta say, there are moments, I wouldn't say it drags, it almost feels overwhelming. It's so weird to be it's a 2-hour film that feels overwhelming. What the That being said, I loved it. I wouldn't say it's perfect. It could improve by cutting back a bit, just a bit. But I don't think it's that big of an issue. Again, the character designs, the animation, the expressions, the action scenes. There's so many epic moments where I'm my God, this scene in particular, or this scene would have taken forever to render. I don't even know how you begin to even wrap your mind around creating this scene. It's just that big and overwhelming. But it fits the narrative beats of the film, where it's it's not just big for the sake of being big. It's epic, but it's well-deserved and feels earned. I will say, tonally, this is such a teenage boy epic movie. Oh my God, the armies are clashing, but then there's another battle with a bigger army clashing. And then me and my brother go Super Saiyan and fight the bad guy and turn into dragons and shoot lasers. It's like that, and I love it. I was just felt it's the same thing when I watch Triple R, the Indian film, where I'm like, yes, this is epic. It's so stupid, but I love it. And I like films like that. I would rather watch something like that than a Marvel film at this moment, where I feel like most Marvel films nowadays are just like, oh man, this is just corporate schlock. I don't care. It feels calculated and cold. Give me something that just is overwhelming with passion and energy. That's what I want. There's a third film after哪吒 2 that was teased at the end of the movie and is currently in development. It's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. And I would be shocked if it takes like years to make. I mean, it'll take years, but not like 4 or 5 years, because the momentum here is so overwhelming from like哪吒 2 that I'm sure China's like movie industry is going to go like, let's get to work. We have got some money and waves to make. Let's go. It's an absolute phenomenon for China, and I'm excited for them. I want to see more international releases. And they're out there. Just because they don't make the top 10, highest grossing animated list doesn't mean those films don't exist. With Brazil, with Chile, with Russia, with, China, with India, with Australia. Those movies are there. Go look for them if you want to get something outside of like Disney films for that matter. So overall, folks, I highly recommend哪吒 2. I'm excited for it. I love it. I think it's really neat to see something of this caliber outside of Hollywood show up and shake up the system. For better or for worse. I say for better. I think Hollywood is a bit of an old, long on the tooth industry that, hey, Hollywood, maybe you should hire artists, or creator-driven movies and animated shows and get rid of AI and pay artists for original organic ideas. Because哪吒was never done with AI. Never even touched it. So hey, just giving you food for thought. Promote creator-driven movies and shows and art. That's where that money should be. But hey, folks, those are just my overall thoughts. What'd you all think? Tell me down below in the comments, and I'll see you all next time.